G'day guys, how you doing? It's the Kiwi, back with another video. And in this video, as the title says below, we're going to be talking about the Great Reset. But this one's going to be with a bit of a twist, because there's something about the Great Reset that people aren't telling you about. And it's really very, very interesting. And it's going to explain why there's so much craziness going on out there in the world. I did a video a number of years ago about why all the craziness, and I'll leave that in the description section below, because I believe that will be a good video for you to watch that will help give you kind of like a fundamental grounding or understanding about how certain power players, certain groups of people are actually utilizing this particular time frame to manipulate things to their actual advantage. Now, and I'm starting to see more people coming out talking about these guys now. However, the reality of the situation is, in other videos I've mentioned about how we've moved into a new time frame. As of the end of 2012, we moved into a new time frame, and this was represented in the Mayan calendar. It's also represented in the Bible or biblical text as the end of times. And the end of times isn't a great catastrophe. It isn't the world coming to the end or anything like that. It is the end of a timeline. Now, interestingly enough, I've been researching this stuff and studying this stuff for many, many years. It was 15 to 20 years. I've been really doing some deep diving in on these subjects because I felt that I had to work on myself. I had to figure my own stuff out. And the only way that I could really start getting a better understanding of who I am as a human being was to really deep dive into a lot of like spiritual texts, astrology, and all that sort of stuff. I had to figure out who I was as a human being. And as I did that, I started to realize just how intrinsically different each and every one of us truly is. You watching this video right now, there's not another one of you on this planet. There's not another version of you out there. You are your own unique, individually unique human being. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, what your color, nationality, anything is. You are intrinsically unique to yourself. So in understanding that, I learned that through my research that the sun rotates through its own solar system. This has actually been proven by astronomers, major research institutions, NASA, scientists, all that sort of stuff. And in a world today where it's hard to trust the science, that is actually a proven fact that we rotate through the sun's solar system. However, what I didn't realize was that the solar system rotates through its own galaxy. I was like, that's something I didn't realize. Then I was watching a documentary the other night on Netflix, and what they're starting to realize is that our galaxy, like our Milky Way, it rotates through the entire universe. So what that led me to was doing some more research in regards to this Great Reset. This is where it gets really interesting. Right here, right now, where we sit as far as a timeline is concerned, and I've mentioned in other videos how we live on a big clock. I call it a big time machine, really, in some respects. We have literally gone through a multi-million year reset. We're living right here, right now, at this moment in time. We are right at the point of a multi-million year reset. Not only did our sun's 26,000 year cycle come to a reset when we transitioned into a new time frame at the end of December 2012, which is, like I said, represented in the biblical times or biblical text as the end of times, the Mayan calendar, and multiple other ancient texts out there. The solar system has gone through a complete rotation through its own galaxy, our Milky Way, and then our Milky Way apparently has gone through a whole cycle. Everything about it, it's like everything on our clock is like right at 12 o'clock, right at high noon, or right at midnight, ready to get going with another day. It's absolutely mind-blowing, because the time frame that we're in right now is about waking up to who you are as an individual, waking up to your own consciousness and all that sort of stuff, right? And I've learned that intrinsically from the research that I've personally done. However, I didn't realize just how monumental it was, and it explains why certain groups of people, certain power players, certain elite families are throwing everything that they can possibly throw at us to keep us going down the same old track, the same old path, the same old road, the same direction that we've been going down for the last, I think it's about 4,500, 5,000 years. We've been going down a specific path. We are at a point where we need to be waking up to who we are. We don't need those people anymore. Ourselves as a individual person, and then as a combined consciousness, combined human consciousness, we don't need them anymore. And that's why they're throwing all this stuff at us. I mean, if you really look at it, since, let's say, since World War II, you can see the trajectory of the buffoonery and the BS and the distractions have gotten worse and worse and worse. It's just been on this steady trajectory up. And it's like today they're just throwing everything that they can at us. And the reason that, like I said, they're doing that is they want to keep us herded. That's why even on alternative media sources now, I can pick out the people that are keeping everybody herded. Russell Brand, he's trying to keep everybody herded. He's one of these dudes. He's one of these guys. I did a video about these guys being the gatekeepers. I swear Jordan Peterson is a gatekeeper. Straight up. Any group of people that are trying to keep you herded, any person that's trying to keep you distracted with fear and chaos and misery and all that sort of stuff, what they're doing is they're keeping your energy in a dark place. They're keeping you pulled down in a negative area when we realistically, in this time frame is literally lifting us up. Lifting our consciousness up, lifting our vibration, our energy. It's lifting us up to a higher consciousness. So any of these people that are keeping you focused on the wars, any of these people that are keeping you focused on rules, anyone that's keeping you focused on getting into the hamster wheel of life, that's all that the 12 rules of life is about, is getting you back on the hamster wheel. I mean, Peterson worked for a Canadian billionaire who was on a panel for the United Nations called Global Economic Sustainability. You see, these power players know that we are checking out, that we don't want to live the lifestyles or the lives that these people have been wanting us to live. So there's been hundreds of millions of people globally that are like, hang on a second, we're done with this stuff. We're checking out. We don't want to buy into this dogma. So what they're doing, especially with the younger ones, they're moving you back and trying to get you on that hamster wheel. And I just find it really ironic that once Peterson was done working for that Canadian billionaire on that panel, he wasn't invited to work on the panel. He was invited by an individual to work for that individual and research and read papers and edit them down so this Canadian billionaire could understand it. But these billionaires, these multimillionaires, these globalists are trying to keep us herded. They're trying to keep us going down. It's like a bunch of cattle that are being herded into one of those little narrow, fence ways into the truck to be led off to the slaughter. That's like the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper is, oh my gosh, the Pied Piper is a perfect example of this story. It's an amazing analogy. Peterson is a Pied Piper. Brand's a Pied Piper. Any of these individuals that are keeping you focused on the negative, Because when you're focused on the negative, you're focused on fear. They keep your energy pulled down. When you're focused on the fear, there's only two things that you can do. You can only fight or flight, right? That's what fear does. If you're scared, you either want to fight or you want to run the hell away. Well, climate change, global warming, the wars overseas, Afghanistan, terrorism, Ukraine, Russia, nukes, the world's coming to an end. The world's in all this fear, right? I was literally talking to people about this at a memorial service last night, and they were just like, oh my God, you're making so much sense. And it's like, yeah. When you're kept in that state of fear, fight or flight, you can't fight global warming. You can't fight any of this climate change stuff. You can't fight any of this stuff in any way, shape, or form. So you want to run away from it. Well, the majority of people, we can't run away from anything, so they'll go and do the one thing that keeps them comfortable, and that is work. I got to get to work. Because at least you get to work, it brings your focus in on something, it makes you feel good, makes you feel like you're accomplishing something, and you get a little bit of money, a little dibble of something at the end of the week, and it's like, whoo, I've finally made it. That's why you got individuals like Peterson. Oh, we got to get these kids back on the hamster wheel of life. We can't have them checking out. That's why you got Russell Brand. Look at Russell Brand. Look at how he starts his videos. It's this huge plethora of word salad, this big dog and pony show, waving papers around and all that sort of stuff. And then he gets into all the fear-based stuff. All the time he's telling you that you wonderful star seeds, you're all awakening, you beacons of light and everything like that. But he's keeping people in a state of fear. When you are also putting your attention on that sort of stuff, where does your energy go? I've mentioned this before. Your energy flows where your attention goes. So whatever you're putting your attention towards is where your energy will go. And by putting your energy towards that stuff, you're keeping that stuff alive. You're keeping that stuff out there. If everybody decided like that, okay, global warming doesn't exist, climate change doesn't exist, the planet would actually start to calm down as far as what's going on here. If everybody stopped focusing on the wars, the power players wouldn't have anything to do. They're like, people aren't buying into this stuff anymore. What do we do? So that's what the Great Awakening is actually about. We've hit point zero as far as a complete reset. Like this is the greatest time to be alive on this planet. This is the single most greatest time that you and me and everyone else could ever possibly be alive. But people are so distracted by the buffoonery, the chaos, just the insanity of everything. Like everywhere I go, I hear people talking about all this stuff. And I'm just stop. Stop it already. It's like when COVID hit. I really wish I'd filmed how I continued living my life while in the lockdowns in New Zealand. I never stopped working. I never missed a beat. I never brought into the lies. I never brought into the buffoonery because I researched everything. I did my own independent study. I looked into everything that was going on. And everything that they're talking about now, I knew about in 2019. December of 2019, January of 2020. I'm like, this is a scam. I'm just going to keep on going. I never missed a beat. At all. I didn't buy into the fear, the dogma, the lies. So I'm going to start doing more videos about this stuff and how to just check out of everything. A perfect example was a lady I was talking to last night. She was talking to her neighbor who homeschools her 3 children, and it's a group of a lot of people now in this area where I live that are homeschooling. More and more people are homeschooling. And she was talking to this lady about what's happening here and this is going on there and all this sort of stuff. And this lady that homeschooled, she's like, what are you talking about? And she goes, well, all this stuff and, you know, Russia and Putin with his nukes and all that. And the lady's like, I don't care. And I literally told the woman, I said, that lady's on point. I said, if everybody stopped focusing on that stuff would go away. Because by us focusing on that, by these there's only a couple of thousand of these assholes. About 3,500. 3,000 to 3,500 of them that are pulling all the strings all over the world. So think about that. 3,500 people are literally manipulating you and everyone else into believing that all this chaos is happening. But by manipulating you into believing that chaos is happening, by putting your attention on that stuff, your energy is flowing towards it, and you are perpetuating that stuff. When you read about all the esoteric knowledge in this stuff, there was a dude on a Discovery Channel program last year, or the year before actually, a Mason, literally saying that they do what they do to build the world in their image. Not yours, not mine, in their image. So literally, the lunatics right now are in charge of the asylum. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And as I said, I'm going to be doing more videos on this subject and just trying to help you guys understand even more intrinsically and esoterically how to become the best possible version of yourself in this time frame. Because seriously, guys and gals, the few gals that watch this channel, this is the greatest time to be alive. Right here, right now. We are so privileged as souls, as spirits, as human beings, as the amazing creatures that we are. We are the pinnacle of God's design. Trust me when I tell you that. We are the pinnacle. There is not another group of beings in this entire galaxy like us. We are the pinnacle. And we need to get our shit together. So until the next video, make it great, guys. Talk to you later. Cheers.